Apologies up front that it's a little noisy. I'm in a working shop right now, and we're not going to stop them working. Behind me is the display shop for the Smithsonian. This is where all the racks and bins and frames that house the pieces of American history that the Smithsonian puts on display, all of that gets built here under all sorts of different conditions. Sometimes it's just simple pieces of acrylic, sometimes it's super complex cases. And shop lead Chris is going to walk me through all of the technologies they use here. So walk me through the overview of this shop.
So this is our fabrication facility. This machine back here does milling for the Frank case system. It basically puts a groove on acrylic. We then assemble into cases with an extrusion.
Can we go look at this?
Sure, absolutely.
So this is just for the this is just to do a system?
Yeah. This is a sample piece that we did, but basically it's individual pieces of acrylic that are cut to size and then milled. So this machine will take a finished piece and mill this groove in the edge of the acrylic, and then we assemble the case using this extrusion.
And it's captured?
It's captured.
Wow.
The benefit is that if a panel is damaged, it can be replaced.
Right.
If it has to be shipped, it can be flat packed for shipping.
It also saves you you don't have to fabricate you don't have to fabricate glue joints.
Nope, right. The solvent welded bubble free joint, which would be the old way of doing it, is actually pretty expensive and time consuming. This is much faster and
much more forgiving.
Aesthetically, it's not that much different, really.
The edge of this piece of acrylic is machined with a groove on the side that matches the groove on this aluminum extrusion, so it captures and actually holds onto it. It's like making your own Tinker Toys for vitrines. That is so freaking cool. So, I mean, there must be a certain part of what you do here is always looking for technologies like this that can make your process more efficient and more reliable, and also...
Absolutely.
I mean, it's funny, I wrote a long essay on glue, and my essay on glue is that I hate glue because it's a one-way solution. And vitrines and display cases are something I love to build and love to use in my shop. But again, you found a modular mechanical way that gives you a lot more freedom.
No, it's a great solution and it really does work.
How long have you been using this system?
About 7-8 years, I think.
Wow. I see a standard complement of woodworking tools and your basic.
Yeah, we have pretty much the gamut. Sliding table saws, standard table saws, joiner, planer, shaper.
And it seems kind of quiet
chop saws.
Right now.
It is kind of quiet. We're sort of in between major projects, so everything's calmed down. So we have a finishing operation behind that roll door. And Roberto's painting,
like spraying and finishing.
We're not going to bother Roberto because he's in there painting right now.
Got it, yeah.
We have our CNC in the room down here.
All right.
Let's go take a look at that.
How many people would be working here in a crunch when you guys are trying to get an exhibit across the line?
Between this shop and 3D Studio, not counting the graphics operation, between this fab shop and 3D Studio, we run about 18 people.
Seems fairly light.
I do have a staff of temporary intermittent, so I can bring in overflow hires under category of temporary intermittent. So, you know, I've been up to about 22 people.
Okay.
But we kind of bumping elbows at that point.
I would imagine.
It gets pretty busy pretty fast.
Well, also, I mean, because you've got so much CNC stuff going on, I would imagine people are always making batches of parts in which if one is missing, it...
Yeah, so we try to work everything with like a digital fab as the model. We're trying to get to that point of digital literacy. We're trying to get it so that everybody can model their part, draw their part, code it, and cut it.
And then everyone's on the same page about what's happening when it's happening.
Yes, it's an ongoing process.
Right.
But generally, we model the stuff. We will then break the parts out, do the tool coating. We'll cut the parts. The parts end up in carts.
When I see something like this here, like each of these has kind of a number on it, that's part of the process?
Everything will be coded. The part gets all coded in the front office.
Okay.
And basically, every set of parts gets a traveler that comes with it that shows what it is you're building. It gives you information about all the parts that are going to be in it. And generally, you know, a couple of views of the thing showing you where all the parts are and how they go together. So when the kit hits the bench, the assembler pretty much has what they need. Now, things still go wrong, but this is where we're trying to get to.
But, I mean, what's great about this, too, is that if something's missing, you just say, I need to run another number 17.
Exactly.
Instead of, I have to go get time on the machine to go make this niggling little, oh, that's brilliant.
Yep. So
So
that's what we're trying to get to.
that's awesome. So I have a question about your dust retrieval. Because it's delightful looking at, it's like Brazil, the movie. Do you end up with interesting hitches where sawdust gathers in certain places?
Yes, we do. Depending on the machine, like the planer, we'll have trouble over there. It'll stack up in the column. I've got to get the drawing proved over where the chop saw is. I'm going to get a new chop saw put in. I need a much better draw over there. So I've got to request in to get a bigger pipe.
So is there some sort of big air blast you do to kind of clear a pipe?
No,
or
basically go around and adjust the vents and try to increase the draw through the clog tube, or basically get on the lift and disassemble it and ram it out with a stick.
All right.
Here's an example of a case.
So does acrylic go in here?
Yes, this groove is for acrylic, and then this is a removable, top batten that drops in and would basically secure the case in place. So this deck would be painted or fabric covered.
Right.
And then underneath here, these chambers all allow airflow in and underneath, and there will be often a desiccant chamber, an acrylic box that holds desiccant material. We have a hatch down on this end of the case, so you'll be able to access that through like a marine bulkhead, open up the desiccant chamber, change the desiccant material. It all works through the case and basically manages the climate.
And this is just to make sure if you're putting in some ancient pair of Civil War pants or
if you
a piece of a ship.
Right. If you need to control humidity, either keep it at a certain level or dry it out or whatever, the desiccant will do that for you. And the thing is set up with chambers that allow that to happen.
Amazing.
Now, conservation's an issue. So inside the case, there'll be a piece of 040 aluminum that goes down here with an opening that drops into gaskets here. The acrylic chamber is acrylic. There'll be aluminum on the back of here. Then you've got silicone gasket and acrylic bonnet. So inside the area of the case is completely sealed, and there are no organic materials. So
you won't have any formaldehyde off-gassing out of the MDF.
We use barriers, either inert materials to begin with or barriers over any of the organics. And that's how we control for conservation.
Amazing.
Inside the case. And then, the levels of conservation vary based on the artifacts or vary based on the museums, because we deal with all the different museums. So we have to follow whatever they tell us they need.
And you guys use, I see like a mix of plywood, some natural hardwood.
This is poplar. We're getting ready to mill this down for a bunch of stringers for some curved walls that we're about to build. And the finish on that is going to be European steamed beech. We bought a whole load of that because that's all the finished trim on these curved wall units.
And you've got someone sculpting here.
Yeah, so now we've moved out of fabrication into what we call the 3D studio. So this is where we do the other half of the work. This is where we do reproductions of things. We do models. We do mounts. We do 3D printing. We also have a machine shop in here, and we have a metal shop. So you want to take a look at those?
I certainly do.
So this is our metal shop. It's not huge. A couple of old vintage pattern tables, which
so beautiful.
It's lovely to be able to have them. They really make welding a lot of fun. We just picked up a CNC plasma cutter. So we're sort of learning our way around that, and basic stuff, horizontal bandsaw, cold saw.
And the plasma cutter, so I guess you have plenty of great air filtration coming out of here, because I'd imagine the plasma cutter going would make it very...
It would. Not being a production shop, the intermittent use, we can manage. If it was running 8 hours a day, I'd have a whole nother ventilation system on it. But this is our metal shop.
All right.
But inside here, this is the machine shop.
Okay, so they're getting...
We've got training going on that's been scheduled for a while, but we have a couple of Haas CNC mills, and then a lot of, basic couple of Bridgeports.
And then a little bit of everything.
Yeah, we got a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
We got a lot of hardware.
Yeah, I'll bet.
We've picked up over the years.
It's a lovely amount of space you have.
So that's the metal shop, and I think at this point, this is the 3D studio, so I'm going to turn this over to Carolyn.
Well, thank you so much. It's a beautiful space you have here.
Pleasure, sir.